Good afternoon, students. You people had an idea of how your generations within your family developed on the aspects of construction techniques. Did you or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Some of you will be learning construction techniques. They'll be civil engineers without even knowing how their father was living, how their great grandparents was living. This is a very basic foundation. So your parents, your grandparents, great grandparents, everybody lived with multiple number of building materials. Is that true? They used wood for their sheltering over the roof. They used mud. They used stones. These are the very basic building materials. And the materials which we are using now are just the derivatives of these materials. These are called the mother materials. Okay, from the materials has been derived. We use bricks, which has been derived from soil. We use concretes consisting of so many components. You have the aggregates. Aggregates are from the breaking of the rocks, you get the aggregates. This is how the current materials has been derived. This is the development of the civilization. Now I'll share the PPT. Meanwhile, I don't want any one of you to scribble on the board. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. This is the first topic of the first unit. First unit is the fundamentals, in which we'll be dealing with the brick masonry today. What is brick masonry? As you all will be having some idea about it, it is the building of structures from individual units. You have individual units which are going to combine together, and you're going to apply some external material to hold it. That is your mortar. Example, yesterday I told you the beach sand, which you'll be having the wetness or the moisture to hold it back. The term masonry can also refer to the units themselves. Masonry is generally a highly durable form of construction. The materials used here depends upon the quality of the mortar, workmanship, the pattern in which you are assembling your units, and all these parameters affects the durability. What is called durability? Anyone of you, what is called durability?
The duration of the structure is can withhold.
How
Duration of
long
the
it can last?
okay. How long it can last? Okay. You have any
Resistance to
problem?
loading, ma'am.
Resistance to loading. Okay. It is like this, strength is different from durability. Strength is how much load it can withstand. Durability is how many duration it can withstand with effect to external attack. You'll be having a house near the beach. You'll be having some. It is exposed to salt water atmosphere, so you'll be having chloride attacks. You'll be having white patches. Very soon, your structure will be prone to failure. It will deteriorate. The slabs and the beams, you'll be finding white patches. Those things should be rectified. And masonry, the common materials used for the construction masonry are the brick, stone, marbles, granites, travertine, limestone, cast stone, concrete block, glass blocks, stucco, tile, and cob. You know about granite, marble, you have seen it. You have seen granite, you have seen marble, you have seen what is a stone, rock, bricks, and about the concrete blocks you have seen. Next is stucco. What is stucco and what is cob? Cob is nothing but this type of external application from the raw soil. You dig the soil, you just compact it with the material, that is the wall, or this is for the well. You just compact it. It holds on. That is the cob. And stucco is nothing but the wet material which you apply externally to hold on. You will have some clayey paste to apply over the bricks in your previous generations. Also, the lime slurry, they'll be using it to hold on to the previous generations, like hold on the wall. It will be plastered over the wall in order to hold grip. Next is kindly mute. Thank you. Next is the existing buildings. I'm going to show you some real life examples which you will be already familiar of. Okay, this is the Great Wall of China. You all are familiar with this. You have seen this as the wonders of the world. Why it is a wonder of the world? You can imagine a brick wall or a rock type being constructed so long. Yes, which has been constructed here for a very long, for a lengthy space. People are able to construct it without equipments, without the development of technologies, only with the manpower. Was that feasible in the previous generations? All these things. See, you can see the brickwork here, over which you have the paste of lime slurries, which they have framed the wall. And next is the Leaning Tower of Pisa. This is an Italian famous monument which was constructed some 7 centuries back. Still it is existing. And this arrow mark represents, I have zoomed this particular 3 floors here and maximized it in order to make you make visible of this particular small rectangular boxes. Is it visible? This particular boxes, is it visible? Those things are stones. It is made up of stones. And next, this is the world famous Victoria Memorial Hall in Kolkata. You do have this. Here you can see it is all built up of stones. You have our famous Taj Mahal in India, where it is being constructed of marbles. This Victoria Mahal is also made up of marbles, provided it falls under the type of stones. Is it visible? Can you see this arches here? These arches, these domes, everything are being constructed of only marbles, are the only type of stones. Imagine nowadays engineers are feeling strained to construct a dome with a concrete structure. They need to prepare the framework, the wooden sets. Everything should be prepared. Only then they'll be able to cast a dome in this shape. But the previous generations itself, people have found it very easier to construct a dome shape. You can see small domes, and these are the pillars. Can you see it? Okay. And this is a closer view where you can see the marbles being arranged very tightly. This is the compound wall of that, where you can see a statue. Everything is being constructed only with the stones. And next we have the example of constructed well using stone masonries. These are the rock materials, which has been very large size of rock materials. I can tell it, is it a raw material, uneven in shape? Here you can see it is triangular in shape. Here it is a rectangular. One seems to be spherical. Different types of shape has been put together with the help of masonry. But here you can see the stones have been cut into particular shapes, more or less a uniform structure that has been arranged here. Okay, then enough of real-time examples. Now we'll move to the chapter. What is masonry? We have already seen. Who's called a mason? A person who constructs masonry is called a mason. Can anyone be a mason? We have so many classifications, so many training. Only skilled laborers can do all these things. So many criteria falls from the materials to the managers and as well as to the masons. And applications of masonry, where all this is practically applied. Walls of the buildings, retaining walls and buildings. You know what is retaining walls? You have some embankments, river embankments. Over that sites you have some embankment or retaining walls in order to prevent the fall of soil into the river. Similarly, you will have some retaining walls in your hilly regions. If you go by the roadside on your hilly regions, you if it is a very huge mountain, you will be having some retaining walls or rocks arranged over your side of the lane, which is to prevent the fall of or landsliding into the road. That should not damage the people. Brick and concrete blocks are the most common types of masonry used in industrialized nations and may be either weight bearing or a veneer. Concrete blocks, especially those hollow blocks, offer various possibility of masonry construction. Then this applications carries over to great compressive strength. Huge strength structures can be constructed and high-rise building can be constructed, filling some or all of the cores with the concrete, partial concrete building, wholly concrete building with steel reinforcement also can be done. Next is the advantages of masonry. The use of materials such as bricks and stones can increase the thermal mass of the building. You have something, you have a vessel inside which is being quite hot. When you leave your hand inside, the temperature will be quite hot. When it is outside, you'll be feeling free. The same thing, if you use very oldest conventional building materials, you will find if your house is constructed of a very old building, you may find it is quite the temperature inside the room is quite lesser. You will feel a little cold. Whereas when you use some additional buildings or industrial waste materials implied into your building materials, that will generate heat. Already it is a heat generated waste material that is going to develop heat inside your building. For example, if you use a fly ash brick wall, it is eco-friendly to go for a fly ash brick wall, but the thing what the client or the customer will be facing is being living inside a fly ash room building is quite hotter than living into the outside temperature, because it is a waste product where it is already generated waste. If you heat, if you build with that, generally heat will generate. You will find a little hotter living inside that room. Most types of masonry typically will not require painting, and so they can provide the structure with reduced life cycle cost. Yes, if you construct rooms or your entire house with stone masonry, then definitely that itself is going to be a very good aesthetic view. That will provide very good aesthetic view, architectural view. It will be very pleasing to look. So no need to again plaster it, no need to paint it. Your cost is going to reduce. Masonry is not combustible product. Masonry walls are more resistant to projectiles such as debris from the hurricanes and tornadoes. Everything can be avoided. Masonry structures built in compression, preferably with line mortars, and will be useful for more than a lifespan of the structures from 500 to 500 years, compared to 30 to 100 structures of steel and reinforced concrete. Yes, if you go for steel structure, the lifespan will be some 30 to 35 years. If you go for a concrete structure, it will be from 50 to 70 years depending upon the material you use. But if you go for old brickwork, brick masonry types, I'm not speaking about the brick walls you construct now. Old brick walls with the lime slurries as a masonry material and the rock materials, your lifespan will be taken to 500 and more years. Disadvantages of masonry. Extreme weather under certain circumstances can cause degradation of the masonry walls due to frost damage. Masonry tends to be heavy and it must be built upon strong foundation. Yes, it should definitely have a strong foundation. You are going to consider you are building a wall with a rock. Just let's imagine you are going to construct a wall consisting of huge and heavy rocks. So the entire weight of this wall, where it will end up? It will end up only in your foundations. This foundation only it is going to end up. So if you are constructing a brick wall, you should make sure you are providing a good foundation support. Imagine the weight of the your rock wall or your stone masonry wall, it is going to be huge compared to your brick wall. So definitely the foundation should be quite heavy. such reinforced concretes to avoid settling and cracking. Disadvantages is, other than concrete, masonry construction does not lend itself well to mechanism and requires more skilled labors than stick framing. If you're going for concrete work, you will have some laborers who are very assistants. They can handle the material, they can come pour the concrete because concrete is being prepared in a machine or even man-made. Someone is going to carry and just going to pour it. That doesn't require skilled labors, whereas masonry construction requires skilled labors. Masonry consists of loose components and has once again. Okay. Masonry consists of loose components and has a low tolerance to oscillations as compared to other materials such as reinforced concrete, plastics, woods, or any other materials. Next, we'll see what is brick masonry. The art of constructing a building using bricks. That is called brick masonry. You can see a person here is arranging the bricks. And this applications of brickwork. You can see people in olden days, not in olden days, I'll take it to some 30 to 40 years. People constructed the walls made up of bricks. And the columns, so you can see the walls, columns. Nowadays, we construct the columns made up of concrete. Our structure falls into a composite, consisting of composite materials. Concrete, now we'll be casting the concrete for our columns, we'll be constructing the walls with bricks. But in olden days, they used only bricks for column framing. And this is the compound wall made up of bricks. And I'll show you one example. This is the College of Engineering building from Guindy, which is the world famous South Indian Red Building, which was constructed during the British period. It was approximately constructed in 1862. This entire building is composed only of brickworks. I'm proud to say that I am a student of CEG. This building, it will be very cold. Whenever people you get a chance to go inside, you can go and feel the chillness within this building. They have provided very large ventilations. There will not be any lights provided. Artificial lights are not provided. See, this will be a very huge landscape exposure. It will be very cold because the material is only soil, only brick masonry with lime slurry. The only thing it is being still this reddish color is they used to coat it with a paint that is red oxide every 10 to 15 years. That is the only reason. But you can feel it will be very cold. Light ventilation will be very good. So electricity will be less. People have planned accordingly to effectively use this brick masonry. And this is stone masonry. The art of building a structure in stone with any suitable masonry is called stone masonry. You have seen this type in your most of the compound walls over the beach sides, near the coastal areas, and in the hilly regions, you'll be seeing the compound walls. Even the entire house is built of stone masonry. And this first image shows that it is a check dam provided with stone masonry. You should not ask me where is the water. Finding water in most of the rivers is very difficult in India. See, this is the overflow and this is the outlet. Here the water will be collected. The excess water will be transferred through this opening. Okay. And this olden dams. You can today quickly go and browse regarding the stone masonries and the brick masonries applications. You will be able to know like 99% of the bridges and the dams were constructed using masonries, stone masonries. So you see here you can see this is the retaining wall or the embankment wall which you construct in order to prevent of landsliding. And these are large rocks. Is anyone feeling bored? Am I boring?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
No, ma'am.
Next is, thank you so much. Next is brick masonry is better than any other type due to the following reasons. Because shape, bricks can be uniform in size and shape. uh, Forming a structure with a quite small size bricks, it will be easy for you to construct a dome or an arch. Everything is quite possible. It is very easy to handle. The approximate weight of a brick will be some 3 to 3.5 kg. You can lift it, which is similarly to a newborn baby's weight. Yes, you can lift a newborn baby of 3 kg as well as a brick. It is quite easy to carry and handle. You can transport it easily. Whereas it is very hard for us to carry the rocks or the huge stones. Finishing works, it is mainly used, it is not used for dressing. Remember, it is not used for dressing. Over the brickwork, we use extra materials like plastering, cement slurries and the plastering works and the paintings to cover it. But brickwork is not used as a dressing. Unskilled masons are enough to handle it. Availability, it is very easily available in all states. We'll see about the types of bricks, traditional and modular. What is traditional brick and what is a modular brick? Traditional bricks, they are not in standard size. Length may vary from 20 to 25 centimeter. Width may vary from 10 to 12 centimeter. Height or thickness, it may vary from 5 to 7.5 centimeter. There is no codal provision for this because it is only people in that locality. It is going to be people from Trichy, they may use the length as 25. If it's going to be people from North India, they may use 20. It depends upon the suppliers or the people who manufacture it. They don't follow any standard size during the old generations. But now we have the BIS standards. We have the BIS standards to be used nowadays, where the size is 20 into 20 into 20. The actual size of the brick is 19 centimeter cross 9 cross 9, which is the 19 is going to be your length, 9 is your depth, and 9 is your width. And terms related to masonry, we'll see what are the terms related to masonry. There are quite a large number of terms related to masonry. Today we'll cover only 10 because you will be literally tired ending up in all those things, and I'll carry over the remaining things to the next class. This is called course. What is called course? The horizontal layer. Don't tell me that is inclined. Just focuses from this view. Okay, you have a series of bricks arranged in this layer. This horizontal layer of masonry unit is called course. In stone masonry, the thickness of the course will be equal to, how will you calculate this thickness? Here you will be having the base floor. Okay, imagine you're having the base floor. Over that you place your brick. So you have to calculate, over that you place your mortar. So you have to calculate that if the thickness of the height should be equal to this height along with this white line. This falls as your height of the brick. Similarly, this to this height, including the thickness of the mortar. Similarly here, height to this will be considered, that is height of the brick plus the thickness of the one mortar. This is going to be a course. Next is, what is bed? Bed is the horizontal layer of the mortar where the brick or the stones are laid. One second, I will show you that. This is called bed. Can you see it? This is the bed. Is it visible? The horizontal layer
Yes,
of
ma'am.
mortar, that is called bed. So this is called a course and this is called the bed, and your height is going to be height of the brick along with this mortar. So this mortar thickness plus your height, it goes on so and so. Okay. Now we'll see about joints. Junction of adjacent units of bricks or stones is known as joints. You're going to connect it. Connect two adjacent units to form a junction. That is called joints. Joints parallel to the bed of the bricks or stones is called bed joint. You have a bed, over that you are placing some joint, that is going to be a bed joint. Joints perpendicular to the face of the wall, that is going to be your cross joint or vertical joint. Next is this is a brick. Imagine you have a real brick. This shorter side, that is the front view of it, it is called the header. This side view, that is called the stretcher. Always remember, next semester you will be having a lab also, which will be dealing regarding to this building materials. You will be like, you can recollect it from, you can carry over things from this subject to your next semester also. The front view of the brick is going to be your header. This is called header. And this horizontal side, this lengthwise side is called your stretcher. And this top surface is called frog, or it is called the face. Okay. They'll tell the terminologies as header bond, stretcher bond, which means header bond is placing the, I don't have any example here to show. Okay. Placing your bricks, showing like projecting only the front portion. That is going to be a header bond. You may ask, what is stretcher bond? Stretcher bond is not like, I'll show you. If this is imagine this is a brick. This is the stretcher area. So you are going to place all those bricks simultaneously by this way. Then you can call that structure as stretcher bond. If it is going to be header, you will be placing only this front face. Bond. This is the method of arranging bricks so that the individual units are tied together. Face, the exterior surface of the brick wall which is exposed to weather, termed as face. A header is a full brick which is so laid to the length perpendicular to the face of the wall. Stretcher is the full stone unit which we saw, that is the side. Next is the quoins. Quoins are the stones used for the corners of the walls. We generally do not keep our brick walls this same manner. Imagine this is one side of your brick wall and this is other side of the brick wall. And here I am going to connect it. When I am connecting it, I should not end up in the same thing. Here also two bricks should not end up like this. Okay, it should not end up like this. Because when you're going for brick walls, the entire structure load is going to be carried over to your walls. If you go for load bearing structure, your weight of the roof, weight of the wall are going to rest on your foundation through your brick walls. This is only going to transfer the load. So you should not provide your walls like this. It should definitely be either this way or this way. I'll show you the picture for that. The width is parallel to the face of the wall is called quoin header. If the length is parallel to the face of the wall, it is called quoin stretcher. This is called quoin. This corner grey color parts are called quoin. If this side, you can see this shorter side is always called the header. The longer side is always called the stretcher. If this side, this is called quoin header, and this one, this is called quoin stretcher. Okay, is it clear? I'm alone speaking one side. I don't know whether you people are here or
Yes, ma'am.
you just walked off. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes,
An
ma'am.
indentation or depression
Thank you,
on
ma'am.
top of. Thank you so much. An indentation or depression on top face of the brick made with the object of forming a key for the mortar is termed as frog. The depth of the frog is usually between 10 to 12 mm. We saw that this as the frog. In every brick, you go purchase bricks for your house, you'll be seeing some brand initials over it, some SVS or RMS, something will be denoted over it. That's not only for the advertisement. They'll provide this space, little indentation, little lowered indentation of 10 to 20 mm, because if they what to say, if they fill that space with a mortar, it will get good bond. If it is going to be plain, over that if you paste the plain mortar, it is not going to hold it properly. So you need some ups and downs so that it could hold it better. And next part is pat. What is called pat? Am I exceeding my times? I'm not. The portion of the
No, ma'am.
bricks cut. Yeah, okay, thank you. The portion of the bricks cut across the width is called as bat. This, if you cut it, you have a slice of bread, you cut it, that is called bat. Three-quarter bats, it is the form of brick bat having its length equal to 3/4. You have thing, you cut it into three parts. This, the one, this is 1/3, this is 2/3. You have 3/4 and half bat. You have the slice of bread, you cut it into equally. Imagine similar to that, you have a brick, you cut it into two, half bat. Next is beveled bat. A brick bat is called a beveled bat when its width has beveled. Beveled is slicing off. Why are they slicing it off? I'll tell you. Why are they slicing it? You have a normal brick. It is as per IS code. We are using it. Why should we cut it? If you arrange the bricks, one
Ma'am,
horizontal, one. Yeah.
maybe for the joints, ma'am. Like if you are placing a horizontal column and a vertical column of bricks, for the joints to be perfectly perpendicular, they do it.
Yes, that's the main reason. That's the only reason. Very good. Your answer is right. You have to, if there is only little space left, you have to break it into either 1/3, 2/3, or like it depends. Maybe half if you need, or 1/3 or 2/3. They'll cut it accordingly and use that space to be filled. And this beveled bat will be used for some projections or some for outer areas of the arches. You will have some arch, they'll be designing it accordingly. That time they'll be using this beveled bat. We'll stop with this, and work for today is browse through the structures constructed using stone masonry and brick masonry in your state and your country. Method of transportation and materials. What material they used? How did they transport those materials? You have some world famous wonders which are being still constructed using masonries. You have the pyramids. Just imagine you have studied about the pyramids. You have seen it. You have browsed through it. You have already. You might have you might have overcome it anywhere else. That is made up of rocks, huge stones. How did they construct it? Similar to a Taj Mahal, how did they consider it? Like everything is quite interesting to know. I wanted all you to read this because if it is going to be offline class, I can make it quite interesting. If it is an online class, I wanted you people to browse something so that. But one thing I don't wanted you to strain much on sitting this. Okay, take 2 or 3 minutes. That is a quick thing is enough. 1 or 2 words about it. That is quite enough. Don't sit for a long time and spoil your eyes. Okay, we'll end up with this session.